It's a big, big moment for him. I suspect that it might be too big, but let's hope that he shows us everything he's got, because he's a very exciting player to watch.
Not forgetting that he did win the '96 Junior Wimbledon here, but he's up against the man who has owned centre court for so many years. Okay, Tony Trabert, Brad Druitt, take it away.
All right, Ken, thank you very much. For Pete Sampras, it was a 128 draw, but for Voltchkov, 256. He had 128 in qualifying. He won 3 matches there. He's won 5 matches now in the regular draw, and he goes up against a man who is 51-1 here since 1992. Pete Sampras, the defending champion, going for title number 7 here against Vladimir Voltchkov of Belarus, who's already spoken with the president of his country, who's a tennis lover. He's got some props on his arms there, and Brad Druitt, this could be a very interesting match.
It could be. Obviously, on the face of it, you'd expect Sampras to be a very comfortable winner out there today. But I've been watching this Voltchkov the last 10 days, and he is one heck of a player. He's very quick. He's got unbelievable ground shots, as you would expect from someone from the Eastern European states.
Okay, let's take a look at some of the numbers for Voltchkov. Unseeded, of course. Coming in here is 237th. No titles, won 7 and lost 0. He was a 1996 junior champion here. In '98, got to the 3rd round. And the prize money for 2000 until this turn, just over $8,000. Career $183,000. He's earned more than that. Doubled his career money, and he's from Minsk in Belarus. And he is quoted as saying, "I don't think I have much chance of beating him. I just hope I can give him a good match."
2 minutes.
Well, he's being very modest. He's played a terrific tournament so far at Wimbledon, beating some very good players. Nothing to lose out there today.
Now let's take a look at some numbers for Pete Sampras. Seeded number 1 here, 10th in a champions race. 27-8 this year in matches. He's won 62 career titles. And he's won it 6 times here. The only interruption was in '96 when he lost to Richard Krajicek in the quarterfinals. Krajicek went on to win the championship. Just under $40 million in prize money. Lives in Los Angeles. Is engaged to an actress, Bridget Wilson. I'm sure you'll see her throughout this match. Beautiful young lady. And this is how Pete Sampras has gotten to the semifinals. Straight sets victory in the first 4 sets against Kuchera. That's when his legs started to act up on him and hurt him. And then a 4-setter against Gimelstob. The first set there was horrible for him. He served 35%, served 4 doubles in his first service game, lost a set. And then Bjorkman, that's when he came good on the Monday. He played a beautiful match there. And against Gamble, he didn't look quite as sharp, but he managed to win in 4 sets. And let's take a look at how
Ladies and gentlemen,
the youngster from Belarus has gotten here.
Take all your belongings with you.
5-setter, 6-11 in the 5th in the first round. And then a big upset against Cedric Pioline in the 2nd round. And Elanui in the 3rd round of straight sets. Ferreira, that was another upset. And then a good win over Byron Black, just enough to get through there in 2 tiebreak sets and a 6-4 in the 3rd. So this youngster has been the story, really, of the championships, you could say, Brad, and he's an exciting guy.
He's exciting to watch. As I was saying before, he's got unbelievably good ground shots. Reminds me a lot of Kafelnikov,
Vladimir Voltchkov,
that great Russian player.
Won the toss and
very
chose to
quick
receive.
release in his ground shots. By that I mean he's got very quick hands around the ball, somewhat like Agassi in the way in which he returns. So if Sampras doesn't serve well today, get a lot of first serves in, this young player will really give the second serve a good crack and make Sampras play a lot of difficult volleys.
Voltchkov is here with his father Nikolai and his mother Ludmila and girlfriend Olga are back home in Minsk watching the progress, and it's been a fairy tale story for the youngster from Belarus.
First set.
Voltchkov won the toss and let Sampras serve first, and here he goes.
Love 15.
Pretty good move to return serve first up for Voltchkov. It gives him a chance to just find his feet a little bit out there on the center court.
Settle down a little bit, get rid of the nerves. And of course, in the process, he's hoping to get Sampras before he really gets warmed up. And because of Sampras' bad leg, he can't practice between matches.
15 all.
And he's not used to that. Sampras has said if this were anything but a Grand Slam tournament, he would probably not be playing.
That's what I mean. Just like Agassi stepping inside the baseline, fearless really on that return.
15,
Really
13.
quick hands around the ball. I mean, the short backswing, bang, no problems.
Oh. 15-30 in a second serve.
All.
On Tuesday, Voltchkov played with a shirt that was a year old. He had borrowed a pair of shorts from Safin, the Russian who lost here in the second round. He had a pair of shoes from 2 different manufacturers. And since he's gotten this far, they've come out of the woodwork. He's got patches on his shirts. He's got new clothes, plenty of shoes. He's going to be all set.
40-13.
See Voltchkov taking a deep breath. He's got to be nervous.
Game Sampras.
So the #1 seed, Pete Sampras, wins the first game of the match, and the players
First
will
game.
just change ends, and Voltchkov will serve for the first time.
There's been a lot of talk about Pete Sampras, especially over the last week with this injury. It's not an injury that can get worse or be career-threatening. It's around the shins, around the ankle area.
It's his left shin, and it's,
Vladimir
you know, it's
Voltchkov
taped
serve.
up heavily, and it does affect his movement. It affects him when he pushes off to go to his right.
And that's why I think Pete can keep
15
playing
up.
with this injury. I mean, if you get one around the knees or in the wrist that could get worse, quite often the players simply won't play on for the danger of getting into trouble later on.
Love. Oh. 30-15.
That's his only double. One thing that'll make Sampras' job a little easier is he knows that Voltchkov's not going to serve in volley much. I think that's his father and also their coach, Gunter Bresnik. Of course, Voltchkov's father, Nikolai.
Flex. Wasser. All.
The feet not quite working on that occasion for Voltchkov. He is quick. He's a good mover. Very good all-court game. We've already talked about the ground shots, but when he gets to the net, he's got very tidy volleys. Not spectacular, but neat and tidy.
40-30.
That is his only ace, and takes him to game point.
Pretty good pace behind that ace, 124 miles an hour. That's up around 200 Ks.
Game
Voltchkov, that has to be a big sigh of relief for him. Never been on center court before, playing the #1 player in the world.
1 game on.
Holds his first serve, and we're tied at 1.
I have been very impressed by his attitude all week long. I mean, sure, he's going to be nervous out there today, but he seems to have a good cocksure attitude about him. He doesn't lack confidence.
15 love.
And I don't think it'll take him too long to settle into this environment. He was a terrific junior. As we've mentioned, he won Junior Wimbledon. He's had a number of injury problems over the last few years and really disappeared off the dial.
That's when his clothing endorsements dropped off as well. He was just hoping to make enough money here to go to a tournament after this in the center of Great Britain. Foot fault called on Sampras.
This ball really taking off. Voltchkov way too late on that one.
And right into the body. That's a tough one to handle.
Game
Sampras leads 2-1 first set. Vladimir Voltchkov is the first qualifier to get to the semifinals in 23 years. John McEnroe did it back in '77. As inspiration for this tournament, he has watched the movie Gladiator 4 times, and he thinks he's the character Maximus. So if you've seen The Gladiator, you know what he's talking about.
Leighton Hewitt watches Rocky movies and Voltchkov watching the Gladiator movies. What tennis players will do for inspiration.
Voltchkov's quoted as saying, I've earned enough money now that I can go out to a restaurant, but my dad's here with me. We live in a flat, and he's a real good cook. So we just stay in, and he cooks for us, and we go take a walk. That's their entertainment in the evenings.
Just going back to the players that Voltchkov has beaten over the last week, he's players like Ferreira, who is a terrific player, been around a long time, very tough to beat on grass. Piolín, the former finalist here at Wimbledon.
Game Voltchkov.
So some heavy serving. Voltchkov gets to 2-all first set.
2 games on.
Those sort of wins against those sort of players. I tell you, this young man really is extraordinarily talented. He hasn't had an easy draw out here at Wimbledon. Good start, 2-all. Just what he would have wanted.
15 love.
Second ace.
Let's first serve. Love.
Second foot fault called on Sampras. He had a couple called in his last match.
Sampras is not one to normally get foot faulted very much. I've got to think it's probably because of his injury he's got in his shin. He's probably making a little adjustment to compensate for the pain.
Game.
Sampras leads 3-2 first set. At men's semifinal match. In the first match, Patrick Rafter prevailed over Andre Agassi in 5 sets, and he will play the winner of this match. We are on serve at 2-3 first set. Vladimir Voltchkov to serve.
Love 15.
Not easy for Sampras out there today from the perspective. He well, certainly hasn't played Voltchkov before, but hadn't even seen him until this week.
No, he looked at a tape Thursday of a match that Voltchkov played to get an idea of what he wanted to do. It's the first time they've met one another.
Ah! 15-13.
Very quick service motion, and Sampras, having not seen it, he appears to be having a little difficulty picking it up.
Let's first serve.
That's great play by Voltchkov, really showing what a good all-call player he is.
40-13.
You notice in that rally, he really does try and set up the point through his forehand. Goes searching for forehands when he's playing from the back of the court. He's prepared to run around his backhand to achieve that.
And games are now 3-all in the first set.
3 games all.
What a great start. This young man, having just spent 3 or 4 hours in the locker room watching the previous match, that wouldn't have done his nerves much good either. And now he's come out and played a terrific first 6 games against the world's best player.
He looks bigger than he's listed. He's listed as 5'11", 1.80 m. Just 22 years of age.
There it is again. I just think this forehand is just a fantastic shot. The quick hands are what does it. The short backswing, and you notice that little flick of the wrist rifles it. Obviously has a terrific eye.
Thank you. Let's first serve. Fifteen on.
This is 4th ace. Nice first volley by Sampras.
That's Sampras's best volley, the backhand. He gets down, gets behind the ball. There was nothing wrong with the return of serve. Really made Sampras come up with one of his best.
You see Voltchkov running away from the baseline. The volley was so deep with such good pace. 40-15.
Game, Sampras.
Game to Sampras, who leads 4-3 first set. He's 7-5. Voltchkov is 7-2. Career record 685 wins and 184 losses for Sampras. 21-16 for the youngster from Belarus. So grass courts 91-15 for Sampras. 7-3 for Voltchkov. So just learning. Brad, he's probably not used to playing in new clothes either, do you think?
That's for sure. He's thrown up the old rags and he's all spick and span.
Sampras.
Closely here, Tony. I think he's got the same clothes on.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He signed a contract, understood, but he does have the same. He's got a Nike shirt on and Adidas shorts. Maybe he thinks it's lucky for him. Doesn't want to change at this stage. Look at the touch here. Good backspin. Perfect drop volley. 15-all.
(30-15).
Second ace. No, I missed that.
It's a good play, though, isn't it? He sneaks in. Reminds me of Ken Rosewall.
30-all.
He gets the opposition out of court, and he's prepared just to sneak in and try and take that next shot on the full.
Yeah, he had Sampras stretched out, and he knew he was going to slice the backhand, so it's going to stay up a little bit. And he got into a pretty good position and tried a very difficult volley. 3-4, 30-all first set.
(40-30).
Voltchkov hanging tough. Games are 4-all first set. This should be very encouraging to him to be at 4-all with the #1 player, #1 seed, 6-time Wimbledon champion. Can I mention, coming into this match, Sampras since 1992 has won 51 matches here and lost once.
Another foot fault. That's the third one for Pete Sampras.
He hasn't asked how he's foot faulting either, which I think is a mistake. Second double.
15.
When we played, we were taught that if a foot fault was called, you ask the person calling it, "What am I doing?"
15-all.
And you'll see you're stepping off with your front foot or you're swinging your back foot over, so you know what to try to correct.
There's a close-up. Nothing wrong with that one. In the air, just as he hit the ball.
30-15.
Great extension from Pete Sampras. That's one of the key trademarks of his serve.
Smart play there by Sampras, too. Instead of making a low volley, he stopped, backed off a step, let the ball come up high, and then he could hit a winner. I doubt that Voltchkov has faced a serve as devastating as Sampras's. Because the action when it comes off that grass, it keeps moving.
Game.
Voltchkov thinks it was long.
Sampras leads.
Wayne McEwen calls it good. Sampras leads 5-4 first set. Serve in the first set. Voltchkov coming out to serve to try to make it 5-all. And Brad, Voltchkov has to be very pleased with his position at this stage.
Playing the best player in the world, the best player of the decade on the biggest stage in tennis is no easy task, especially when you're doing it for the first time. And Voltchkov has really acquitted himself exceptionally well so far.
15 love.
Great deal of poise.
That serve looked like it was well long. Look at Sampras. The service.
I thought he just got the back. You think called it good?
Well, he's asking the umpire to overrule, and there's no way the umpire's going to touch that one.
Well, he asked if he saw it, and Wayne McEwen said, I thought it touched the back of the line.
I love it when players say, did you see it? Like the umpire was looking somewhere else.
15 love.
30 love.
Serve into the body.
40 long.
Sampras really hasn't timed his returns yet out there. It's a little bit blustery.
Yeah, I think he's trying to get the feel of things, too, feeling his opponent out. He has never seen him serve before. He's getting all he can handle at this stage.
Game. Voltchkov.
Games are 5-all. I think one dangerous thing for Sampras, if he lets this kid get into the match and think that he got a chance to win, he could catch fire, and Sampras will have to lift his game.
I think you're right, Tony. The danger with Voltchkov, he is capable, as we just saw, of cracking winners from nowhere. And if he just goes bang, bang in a row and all of a sudden gets a love 40, Sampras has to be very careful.
They don't have any grass courts in Minsk. He's learned to play on a synthetic
please switch off all mobile
types
now.
court.
That's
as near a grass court as they can make. It's at the car factory where his father used to work. He got there pretty comfortably.
First love.
He made ground easily. Just had the wrong shot selection in the end.
Flex. Second set. Love.
That's the one thing you always know Sampras has going for him, and that's that huge serve. And under pressure, he normally serves better than the opponent.
Well, what's interesting about that forehand passing shot, apart from being a great shot,
40,
is it
15.
didn't land that close to the sideline. Sampras just didn't pick it up and hit with enormous power.
Yeah, he didn't even flinch, did he? 40-15.
Sampras really could have just lunged his to the left and at least got his racket on that ball.
Game, Sampras.
Game to Sampras. He leads 6 games to 5 first set. And as we go to this break, we'll give you a little Wimbledon trivia. Pete Sampras has won 6 Wimbledon men's singles. W.C. Renshaw, Great Britain. Fred Stolle, standing behind me, said it was Renshaw, and I've got to bow to him and give him so much credit. Congratulations, Larry. And we come back to center court live action. Paul Annacone, Sampras' coach, in the middle there in the maroon hat. To his right, the blonde, is Bridget Wilson, who is Sampras' fiancée, an actress in the United States. Now we'll see how Voltchkov serves here, trying to take this first set to a tiebreak.
15 love. Coach love.
Voltchkov has now won almost 90% of the points when he's got his first serve in, which is good at any time, let alone when you're playing Pete Sampras.
Sampras having all kinds of difficulty
40 love.
getting the Voltchkov serve back in play. We're a point away from tiebreak.
Game, Voltchkov.
Games are 6-all. And we go to a tiebreak. The first player to win 7 points, at least a 2-point advantage, will win the first set.
6 games all.
There's a lot of
First set
subtlety
tiebreak.
in Voltchkov's game. In that last point, he hit the topspin forehand, hit the slice backhand, hit the double-handed backhand.
He also had a very slow, short spinning serve off what would normally be a first serve. Sampras to serve, first point of the tiebreak. First point to Sampras, but it wasn't easy. You notice how Sampras' footwork picked up very quickly there on that miss-hit return, got him off position, and all of a sudden he started churning, so he can move when he has to.
Another 3-point for Voltchkov on the first serve. Little lucky by Sampras. Had all sorts of trouble just getting that serve back into play. It ended up being a pretty tricky shot for Voltchkov to play. That's the mini break. Sampras leading 2-1.
Just barely made it. Didn't really get a good piece of it. 3-1 Sampras.
3-1 Sampras. 4-1. Sampras.
Sampras leads 4 points to 2 as they change ends.
Sampras.
Both players now having just an ounce of luck in this tiebreaker. Voltchkov hasn't played a bad tiebreaker, but just as you'd expect, Sampras has just lifted a little bit.
A little more experience. Third ace, and it's now 4-3 Sampras.
Now this is where you'd expect Sampras to get 2 big first serves in and close out this first set.
Well, he can't close out on his serve, but he can certainly get to set point.
5-3.
To the deep volley. Look how far Voltchkov was behind the baseline trying to make that pass. So it's 5-3. And a double fault makes it 4-5.
5-4. Sampras.
Sampras twice missing his very favourite serve. That one down the middle on the forehand court. That's where he'll go more often than not when he really needs it. On that occasion, failing him. Voltchkov back on serve.
Missed an absolute sitter.
6-4.
He pushed Sampras all over the court, fooled him twice in a row.
Sampras.
And missed a cripple, so it's 6 points to 4. 2 set points now for Sampras.
Oh no, your heart goes out to the young Belarus player. What a terrific point he's played. Remember, he's down 4-5, first set tiebreaker. That was an absolute sitter.
First set.
First set to Sampras in a tie break. 7 points to 4. Brad, here's some of the stats.
Nothing much in it. Voltchkov, very good first serve percentage at 66. Sampras not where he'd want to be. He'd want to be up closer to 60.
Second set.
And Sampras 100% on points 1 on first serve, but not getting enough in. And everything else pretty even. You'd expect Sampras to be winning more points at the net, 11-5. Now this is the true test for Voltchkov. He's played a good first set. A little unlucky in that tiebreaker. He must now really knuckle down and try and hang in early in this second set. This is where Sampras, the great player he is, he'll try and break this match right open.
I think it was a wake-up call for Sampras, the way Voltchkov played in the first set. He's going to have to pick it up a little bit.
I think his racket touched the net. If it did, he loses the point. Yes, that's correct.
Yep.
When he's diving here, he does very well. Great shot. And then just on the follow through, the umpire picks up that the racket has touched the net.
I wonder if he knows it. I know he speaks English very well, so he would have understood Wayne McEwen, the umpire, but he's down to love 30.
15-13.
Sampras going up to take a look at the mark. Thought the serve might be long. They've lost a little confidence in Cyclops here the last few days. It's Wayne McEwen of Australia, the umpire. The veteran, does a real good job.
It's
his second double, and he's down 2 break points in the first game of the second set. He could very well be a little disappointed in himself, particularly for missing that easy volley. Still thinking about that instead of thinking about this first service game.
Game, Sampras.
Sampras breaks serve and wins the first game of the second set. That's the first break of the match.
Well, how often do you see this in big matches when you've got the inexperienced player against the champion? The champion just squeaking through in the first set and then getting an early break in the second. That was a great leap with his racket just touching the net. And the rule is if the ball bounces twice, it's okay if you touch the net after the ball has landed for the second time. But on that occasion, the ball was still in play.
15 love.
That diving volley, even though he lost the point, might end up in Toyota Top Shots. We've had several of those. Wayne McEwen is the umpire. He's concerned too, I think, about the way Cyclops is working. He keeps looking back at the service lines people. That is the 4th double for Sampras. Now he misses a serve like that by a few centimeters, and I've talked to him suggesting he takes that same serve and aim right at the opponent, and if you miss it a few centimeters one way or the other, it's still in court and it goes right at his body. That type of serve.
15-13.
Perfect.
We talk about variety. Voltchkov has got about 3 or 4 different backhands, and this is the bunt, I'll call it. Dead flat, wasn't sliced, wasn't top spun.
Hit both lines, baseline and sideline. 15-30. I think Voltchkov was surprised that Sampras came back to him that time instead of going into the open court. Sun comes out. It does exist over here. We have seen very little of it this fortnight. It's a blue sky. We've had some overcast here today and a little threat of rain earlier, but it's pretty right now, but it's chilly. Young lady said, I'm okay if she needs has her duty pay or some armor down there. She about fell down trying to get away from that serve.
Game, Sampras.
Sampras holds and leads 2-love in the second set.
Sampras leads 2 games to 1.
They're pretty good at ducking usually. That time she's just got
body punch right in the ribs, didn't she?
I think she got a little tangled up with her chair.
Yeah, she's a little embarrassed that she sort of half fell down, and very professional. They do a great job.
What I find interesting about Pete Sampras, when he did hit that serve and The linesman fell over. He doesn't give any reaction at all on the court, does he? He doesn't smile, or doesn't put his hand up to the linesman. Very, very professional, very focused.
Yeah, he's concentrating all the time. Good shot.
Love 13.
That is a great shot.
It's a little bit lucky. It's right in the body, and he happened to get good direction. Sorry, Brad.
Well, he had to work the ball off his body, and that takes a tremendous amount of wrist power.
And when this ball hits on the line and it finished bouncing, kept curving away, that's how much side spin he had on it. Love 30.
Well, he's hit a forehand from the backhand corner, and that tells you he's quick. A great leg spin to get all the way out there and make this forehand. Nothing wrong with the approach shot. Backing away to his left and whipping it down the line.
Two break points now for Sampras. Could give him 2 breaks in this second set.
Game, Sampras.
Game to Sampras on the double fault. He has 2 breaks and leads 3-love second set. See the blue sky, a beautiful day now at the championships. Day number 11. We hope you're enjoying it. Sampras broke in this second set open, serving with new balls at 3-love, 2 breaks after winning the first set in a tiebreak 7 points to 4.
First serve. Love.
Sampras looking to me like he's starting to find some rhythm on his first serve. He struggled in that first set. Only served at 50%, which is way below, or quite a bit below what he would normally want to be.
But for the year, normally he's around between 50 and 55%. But his second serve is so effective as well. 40-love parts of his match in the quarterfinals, he was at 70%, which is big for him. His 5th double.
Game, Sampras.
Ace number 6 off the second serve takes Sampras to 4-love in the second set. He's won the first in a tiebreak.
I find it quite remarkable these days how many players are hitting second serve aces. We saw it from Pat Rafter in the previous match, and Pete Sampras has almost made it an art form.
I think part of it's because they return serve well, and it makes you go for a little bit more than you would like to on some of the second serves.
Right on the line,
15
that
love.
serve. Sampras catching the ball late.
First love.
Well, that's
40 love.
what you'd call a serious miss-hit.
Pretty sloppy there by Sampras.
Well, sloppy footwork, wasn't it? He really didn't get his body into position.
He's got 2 breaks and maybe relaxing a little bit. Got to be careful.
Let's first serve.
If you're injured, as Sampras is, his left shin bone is a problem for him. He'd want to get out of here as quickly as he can, end this thing as fast as he can. That ball bounced off his racket edge, down the ground, bounced up, hit him in the face.
Game Voltchkov.
Game Voltchkov. Sampras leads 4-1 with 2 breaks. Take charge here, having won the first set in a tie break, a close first set. He has 2 breaks now, coming out to serve at 4-1 in the second set. This is Bridget Wilson, Sampras' fiancée, and Paul Annacone, his coach.
Love.
194 Ks at serve.
Love.
7 pace takes him to 40 love. Pretty smooth and rhythmical now, and pretty much in his zone, it looks like, on the serve.
Voltchkov has returned quite well out there today. He just hasn't been able to string 2 or 3 of those good returns together, back to back.
That's the challenge on the Sampras serve, putting a few of them together.
Game Sampras.
Sampras now leads 5-1 second set.
Well, it was always the danger,
5
wasn't
games
it,
to
Tony, that Sampras, having won that first set, that he was going to put his foot on the accelerator and really try and pin the young player from Belarus down. He's done just that.
Yeah, I think it was a wake-up call for him. I think he came out a little relaxed, feeling this kid will be scared, won't play that well, and it was a very close first set.
When you see shots like that, you've got to try and wonder where this guy's been the last couple of years. Playing challenges mostly, which is the level below the tour, the ATP Tour.
He was also injured. He had some injury problems, and that's when his ranking dropped to 237, and his clothing deals fell off as well, and his ranking plummeted.
These are great volleys, especially from someone whose primary game is from the back of the court. Getting down right behind the ball, down low, bending, hitting that backhand volley right out in front of the hips.
30 love.
I think he hit the second serve harder than the first serve on that occasion.
Yeah, I don't understand the logic, frankly, but
there's Dad. He's blinking. I don't think he does either.
It's his 4th double.
40-15. Game,
Voltchkov. Sampras leads 5-2, second set. That's one of the ATP trainers out treating Pete Sampras' left shin. He took a little tape off, put a spray on, looked like a numbing spray, and then some salve on it. And the number 1 seed comes out to try to serve out the second set. Bridget says, so far so good.
$15 love. $30 love.
Another second serve ace by Sampras. You just cannot relax when he's throwing those bombs at you. Sampras came up a little gimpy, limping a little, but he's at 3 set points. Trying to take a 2 sets to love lead. Second set to Sampras, 6 games to 2.
6 games to 2.
Tremendous match and a victory over Andre Agassi. And Pete Sampras, not playing his best tennis, is doing it, however, to Vladimir Voltchkov. I want to thank Brad Druitt for his efforts and welcome John Newcomb back to the microphone.
Thank you, Tony. Had a chance to go down and visit with Pat down the dressing room, and he was obviously over the moon. His 5-set victory over Agassi, and feeling a little leg weary though.
Well, you can certainly understand why he would be elated. It's a tremendous effort for him after all he's been through, and as you mentioned during the match, the first real tough match he's had in 10 months. Leg weary. Now he's probably going to play Sampras, who has an injured leg, and but Sampras has not played as hard a match to this point.
40 love.
Missed it.
40-15.
Nuke, I'm not sure you saw it, but this first set was a close first set. Sampras trying to win in a tie break, and the youngster from Belarus played very, very well when you thought he would be nervous coming out. And then he lost his first 2 service games the second set and was beaten badly.
Game.
Voltchkov. Here he wins the first game of the third set with an ace.
Well, he's not used to playing at this intensity, at this level, and guys that one thing you learn when you've been around for a while is that the very top players, after a tough first set, they come out even tougher the first few games of the second set, and you learn those lessons after you realize you've been losing your opening serve of the second set.
Yeah, but he's done a good job. I mean, I thought that he might have trouble playing well in the first set, Voltchkov, because of the moment and being on the center court for the first time. He did well to hang in there, but then Sampras picked it up a notch, and now we'll see how set number 3 goes.
15 love.
That's his 9th ace. I have Sampras down for 5 double faults. Voltchkov 4 aces and 4 doubles. Voltchkov has 5 aces.
Touch love. Love.
Pinpoint accuracy for the 10th ace. Takes Sampras to 40 love. Trying to get even 1-all in the 3rd set. Voltchkov 2-3 meters behind the baseline to try to receive the first serve. Now a little different move. Now he comes forward some.
Game, Sampras.
Games are 1-all.
Sampras winning on his first serve. An incredible 100% in the first set, 86% of points in the second set, 100% so far in the 3rd set of first serves. And I think we might have to have a talk with Pat about that, because he wins so many points on his first serve.
15
Sampras. I'm wondering whether you should just try standing somewhere different, you know, like maybe stand 4 meters back.
Give him a different look.
Well, what do you got to lose?
Well, if I were going to whisper in rafters here, I'll whittle his points over.
30 love.
That's his 7th ace. I would say cover the wide serve in the deuce court and down the tee in the ad court and make him beat you with his serve the other way. He can do it, but it's not where he likes to serve it. The other thing Nick could say, stay off the Sampras forehand as much as you can. Make him beat you with the backhand side.
Yep.
30-15.
The forehand over the years has become a real weapon for Sampras. It's funny, though, it's not that big a weapon on clay.
Because he doesn't believe in it on clay.
I think that could be a little bit right.
Then he ends up forcing it, trying to do too much with it.
$40-15. Game,
Voltchkov. He leads 2-1 3rd set. A very good job so far by Vladimir Voltchkov. He may not think so. He's lost the first 2 sets. He leads 2-1. We're on serve in the 3rd. But coming through the qualifying and to do this well has been a fabulous effort. Vulnerable to the wide serve where he's standing.
15 long.
I would certainly not advise him to stand where he was standing then, Voltchkov.
You've got to have that right foot by that single sideline at least on a grass court.
Interesting position for receiving serve. On the second serve, for the first serve, he was about 2 meters further over to the right, and then for the second serve, he moves towards the alley.
I think that's probably to try to hit a forehand if he can. But maybe someone has told him that Sampras likes to come down the tee in the ad court.
Is that person asleep, or are they scared to watch?
They haven't seen sunlight for so long, they don't know what to do with it.
$40 love. Game, Sampras. He balls, please.
Games are 2-all. Nuke, I think it's interesting to show you how good Sampras is, that he really is below par physically in this entire tournament, yet here he's in the semis cruising along. Granted, he's playing a qualifier, but it shows you how dominant his serve is and his confidence level.
And his ability at, I call them strike weapons, I guess, forehand and backhand on grass. He loves that sort of a thing where he can strike early in the rally. Likes to get his returns back, make you volley, and then he runs down and works on the next shot.
Tries to trap you into going to his forehand side where he really goes after it. 2-all third set.
Shot was too short. He sat up there for him.
I was surprised that Sampras didn't go cross court his favorite.
15 love.
Here's the shot, and he lands about 2/3 of the way down the court. Plenty of room there to make the pass.
Goes long.
People talk about Sampras' serve and his forehand, but not a lot. You don't hear a lot about his great athletic ability and his speed around the court.
That's part of what I'm talking about, because he's about 80% because of his shin problem, but he's still just cruising. But if he wins here, he's going to have to pick it up on Sunday, or Pat Raft will be the Wimbledon champion 2000.
I think in this match he's doing just enough to make sure he gets home, and you can bet that when they get into the final, he's not going to be holding back at all.
He'll come smoking, yeah.
Yeah, he will.
But I agree. He sort of cruised along and done just enough to get through. And at certain balls, he doesn't even chase because of his shin. Fifth double.
See, this is a feeling that Voltchkov would never have experienced before. You're out there in the center court, you're playing Pete Sampras, you serve a double fault, you serve another one, and the crowd all sighs.
Right.
And there's this electric sigh coming down at you, and it can be pretty confusing. Now he's under real pressure. It could be 3 in a row. Very good volley. Well done under those circumstances.
Did you notice how gingerly Sampras went out to that ball, too? He wasn't going to take any chances.
From our point of view here, we should try and push Voltchkov through this.
Right.
Voltchkov through this third set.
Keep Sampras out there longer, huh?
You bet.
Voltchkov, he leads 3-2, third set. Sampras' fiance seems pleased. Beautiful day now. We had some threat earlier, and it looking good now. Sampras to serve at 2-3 in the third set. He's won the first 2 sets 7-6 and 6-2.
15 love.
Nuke, I think it's safe to say that Voltchkov has never faced a serve like Sampras's in his short career.
Especially the way Sampras moves the serve around, too. He does that as well as anyone.
First love.
He varies it up. We know that he prefers to serve under real pressure to the forehand of a right-hander, but he can go the other way pretty well, too. And so there's no real pattern established of his serving. You don't know where it's going, and it's a hard serve to read.
And when you've never played him before, as is the case with Voltchkov, that much tougher. 40 love. 12 aces now for Sampras.
Game, Sampras.
Long. Love game for Sampras, and he gets even at 3-all third set.
3 games all. Let's first serve.
Long.
15 love. All.
I mentioned earlier, and I think it's worth mentioning again, that Pete Sampras, since 1992, is 51-1 here at Wimbledon. That one was when Krajicek beat him in the quarterfinals.
Yep. Attempted drop volley. Execution was not good. The ball sat up and landed on the service line. That's just a Christmas present for Sampras, and he's got a little opportunity here at 15:30.
I think you'll see him try to pick it up. He'd like to get a break right here if he can. It's long.
15-14.
2 break points now for the #1 seed. He knows when to turn it up a notch. As you mentioned, Nuke, just to do enough to get this break and hold on and get out of here. He's not been able to practice between matches because of his shin problem.
30-14.
Base number 8. Still a break point.
Two big serves just when he needed them.
Juice.
They list him at 1.80 m, 5'11", and he just looks like he's a little bit bigger than that. Game point now for Voltchkov.
Advantage Voltchkov.
Voltchkov, who leads 4-3, third set. Now to serve at 3-4. You know he wants to get out of here as quickly as he can to rest that injured leg. Get some treatment tomorrow. Sampras has been getting some acupuncture treatment on that leg. He's tried all different kinds of things.
This time, Voltchkov was sitting on the serve out wide. That was the first point that Sampras has lost on his first serve in this set. In fact, I think in the whole match he's only lost 2 points on his first serve.
30-15.
Last 3 shots, he's hit right in the center of the racket, hadn't been able to make them.
Game, Sampras.
Games with 4-all in the third set. Sampras continues to win his serve pretty comfortably. Has not been broken in this match. He's only broken Voltchkov twice, and that was the first 2 service games for Voltchkov in the second set.
Let's. Second serve.
Net cord for Sampras. Good point by both players. Voltchkov all over the place.
Gymnastics out there for Voltchkov. Dive over to this side 15. With a roll. Now the lob up in the air. Now a dive across court and into a roll.
He might have been there on that volley. I don't know what he'd done with it, but when it hit the top of the net, threw everything off. So it's love 15. Wide.
Love 13.
All of a sudden, Sampras picking up the tempo a little bit. Wayne McEwen in the chair. Ace number 9 for Voltchkov.
Coming up with the big serves the last couple of games, just when he needs them. Skidded through the line. Risky stuff.
Yeah, but it put him down 2 break points, and he missed it.
$40-13. Juice.
That's Nikolai Voltchkov, Vladimir's father. This is where Voltchkov has gambled on some second serves, hitting flat sort of first serves for second serves and serves some doubles. Double fault number 6 and his break point for Sampras. He wants this one.
You talked him into it.
Yeah, you sort of feel it, you know, the way he's been, the service, the way he's been going at it. You know, Sampras wants this one, then he could try to serve out the match and get into the locker room and start getting some treatment. Too good.
Juice.
Very good rally this from Voltchkov, finishing up with the forehand down the line. That was the match if he misses that. That's what sort of pressure he was under. Well, that's a very good point. That would have been some forehand from Sampras had he made it. Oh, gee, he only missed it by a couple of centimetres too.
Voltchkov.
Voltchkov did a good job. He moved the ball around and was careful with the one down the line because he thought he had the good opening. So he has game point.
Juice.
No empty seats in the house, Tony. You can feel the crowd out there, you know, willing him to try to get a set.
And they're showing their appreciation for the youngster from Belarus.
Advantage Voltchkov.
Who blows down ace number 10 to get the game point.
It's a story. It's a magic story. You come here with a couple of dollars in your pocket and you battle your way through the qualifying and find yourself in the semi-finals against arguably the best grass court player the world's ever seen.
Let's. Second serve. Juice.
Sort of a short second serve. I think he thought he'd surprise Sampras by coming in behind it. Bit of a continental grip on that forehand volley and hit it way long. Back to deuce. Right into the cannon there, going to the Sampras forehand as break point.
Advantage Sampras.
Yep, that's just inexperience, not knowing his man well enough.
We mentioned earlier in this match that this is the first time they've played. Sampras looked at a video to have an idea of what Voltchkov wanted to do. Another diving save by Voltchkov, hurt his hand.
Juice.
He was in trouble here. You can see he was right out of court. He had to come up with something pretty good, moving to his right, but he held his ground pretty well.
I was surprised Sampras didn't try to go down the line. You go cross court, you go right in front of your opponent.
Again, he's got the patent on that shot, running forehand down the line. Loves it.
And another break point. See, Voltchkov didn't put enough on the volley.
Yeah, it was a very pushy volley. It went where he wanted it to go, but there was no stick in it. It sat up when it landed.
I think he thought that Sampras would be there late. Probably couldn't do much with it, but he was wrong. Another break point opportunity for the #1 seed.
Good warning. Don't count on Sampras's injured foot slowing him down.
Sampras. When we come back, he'll be serving for the match. To hold one more serve for a place in the final here. He's won this championship 6 times, going for #7. he holds serve here, the only one between him and his 7th title will be Patrick Rafter.
Twilight plays first serve.
Somehow Cyclops went off. Sampras had the toss in the air.
Sampras has had 7 break points and broken 3 times. Voltchkov has not had a break point in the match so far. So you don't like his chances that much coming into this game, do you?
Not really. And you don't like anybody's chances when Sampras is serving for a match.
Love 15.
Double fault number 6. Tomorrow's ladies singles finals. Venus Williams against Lindsay Davenport. Number 2 seed against the number 5 seed.
That's a good volley.
15-all.
That's the difference between his volley and Voltchkov's volley. Last game we saw Voltchkov hit a similar volley and it went in the same direction, but it sat up. That one skidded through after it landed.
Had some bite on it, didn't it?
Been a bit of a nightmare for Voltchkov today. Sampras' first serve. He'll probably go to sleep tonight seeing that serve coming down at him.
I hope he goes to sleep tonight a very proud man for the job he's done in this tournament. He's got some money in the bank.
40-15.
And now 2 match points for the defending champion. It's out.
Set match, Sampras.
Same set match to Pete Sampras. 7-6, 6-2, 6-4.
3 sets to love. 7-6.
Comfortable win for Sampras. And a good one for him, thinking about his injury, Nick.
Yeah, he got a good percentage of first serves into play for him. Throughout the match, he averaged 58%. Second set, he was up at 70% of first serves. We don't want to see that in Sunday's final, please. Against Pat, we'd like to see him down in the low 50s. But, you know, a workmanlike performance. He did what was necessary to do out there. But that's a champion. I mean, he, you know, didn't have to go full throttle.
At his own admission, he's about 80% of what he'd like to be. He said, I'm dealing with the hand I've been dealt, and I've been playing pretty well. And he said, basically, 80% is not bad for the, the rest of the field. He's going to need better than this on Sunday against Rafter. There's a young man that should be very, very proud. I'm sure we'll see more of Vladimir Voltchkov as time goes on. Pete Sampras bows to the royal box. Fiancée Bridget Wilson very happy.